oh, that's right, I did do this. I can still do this. Do I want to do this?
I'm a vampire slayer. And secondly, I'm retired. Hey, I know. Why don't you kill him?
I think it opened up the door for, first of all, for female characters, obviously, to sort of be the hero of the day and humanize them. I think it was like there were either these characters that were superhuman or they were human, but there was never a, like the person that looked like everyone, that lived a life like everyone else, but had these extraordinary powers. So I think it opened up for the humanity in these stories.
Lives depend upon you. I make allowances for your youth, but I expect a certain amount of responsibility, and instead of which you enslave yourself to this cult.
You don't like the color?
There was a deeper lesson to be learned, and they metaphorically represented the demons in here. Demons you can see, demons you can't see. And I think, I think that with the success of Buffy, it allowed for those next generation of shows to come along.
Hey, Buff. Need a hand?
No, thanks. I'm good.
I think that it's why I probably stayed away from the genre for a while, because it is hard, because there is a legacy, and I think with time, it allows people to be more accepting of that. But I think also what people loved about Buffy, like we were saying earlier, was those metaphors that these monsters represented. At that point, it was the horrors of adolescence, and now it's allowing us to sort of tell this more modern story of anxiety and isolation and, disconnect, finding your pack, figuring out where you fit in. But streaming also allows that, because it allows shows to be darker. It allows them to go a little bit further. And it allows to sort of encapsulate a story, in a shorter period of time.
What are you worried about? What keeps you up at night?
We've never killed anything before.
You've never had it back before.
Jeff Davis was the one that convinced me, because I loved the world that he was creating. His dialogue it was like Buffy when you first read it. You're like, oh, this isn't just regular dialogue. Like this has meaning behind it. And I wanted to do something that spoke to my fans, that was in the world that they liked, and it just, all the pieces sort of fit. We got to sort of the big fight sequences. It was sort of oh, that's right, I did do this. I can still do this. Do I want to do this? And Rodrigo and I started to become competitive. He's like, well, I'm doing it. And then I'd be like, well, if he's doing it, I'm doing it. And we had a really good time. They were so sweet. I started a little bit later because I unfortunately had COVID and couldn't start right away. And the first day that I worked, they didn't work, and they all came just to be there to support. And I think the world of them, I watched them grow, both personally and professionally throughout the experience. And I'm really proud of the work that they did. A lot of people said that to us, like, oh, it's gonna be so great. You're gonna be able to, teach these kids and shape them. And what's interesting is how much Rodrigo and I learned from them, and how often we tried to sort of emulate, their ideas and the way they saw things, because there's a lot to be learned on both sides, I think.